Well, hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are out on another camping trip, and I'm out in Big Bear with the truck and the camper, and we're gonna go find somewhere beautiful to camp tonight. It is gorgeous out here today. It's late winter, feels like early spring. Snow's kind of already melted. There really wasn't much of it this year, but we're gonna find somewhere to camp tonight. Before we get started, this video is brought to you by Onyx Off-Road. Now look guys, I've got all sorts of yellow post sites back here that we can check out, and we may, because you guys know if you've been following along that I've really liked checking out some of these yellow post sites, but we still got several hours of sunlight. So what do you say we just explore some of these trails back here and see what we can find in the backcountry of Big Bear. If you guys aren't using Onyx Off-Road, make sure you sign up using the QR code on the screen if you're watching on TV, or you can use the link in the video description. Use code Alpine Tactics to save you 20%. Let's hit the trail. I was excited to get out today. Recently I've started doing some midweek trips. It just happens to be the best time in my schedule right now for me to be able to come out here. Being that it's a Wednesday and late winter, there's pretty much no one else out here. Just me, my truck, and this beautiful mountain landscape. Well, it did it again. Crashed the drone. So, looks like there's gonna be no more aerial shots on the rest of this trip. It looks like it will still work. The propeller, one of the propellers is gone. Like, no idea where it is. But the rest of the drone, I think, is okay. But for this trip, because I forgot my extra propellers, no more drone. But as I've been kind of exploring up here, did see a bald eagle from a distance, but that's something that's been on the list this year, and so hopefully I'll get a closer view sometime this week. I have to admit, I was pretty disappointed in myself for crashing the drone. I was really excited to come out here today and get back into my normal routine of making these fun and adventurous videos. As soon as I crashed the drone though, I let it get to me. I no longer felt like trying to find an incredible campsite with great views. I instead decided to head to a lower elevation for warmer temps and easy camping. This won't make for super exciting content, but turned out to be a quite enjoyable night of camping. And if you decide to stick around, I'll show you around the camper in the morning. Well, I ended up at a campground, Holcomb Valley Campground in Big Bear. I've never stayed here. In fact, I haven't stayed at a campground in literally years. But trying to get us out as an entire family more. And it is just me today, but you know, finding local campgrounds that are a little bit more off the beaten path like this one is. is something that I'm trying to do. My wife will only camp at campgrounds, and so there's some pit toilets here, fire rings, camp table, just level spot, a little bit easier. This wasn't really my intention today, but I did want to check this place out while I was up here, and it is a Wednesday, and there's literally only one other person in this entire campground, and so it's just as good on a day like this as doing some dispersed camping. When the drone went down, man, that's like the third time I've lost a drone. When the drone went down, I instantly decided to make this a little bit more of a chill video, and focus a little bit more on just having a nice evening out here rather than some super adventurous thing. I actually found a better campsite on the trail earlier where I saw the bald eagle, but after I lost the drone, I was kind of just like, nah, whatever. So, doing my best to kind of make the most out of the evening now. Right now, just gonna hang out by the campfire just for a little bit. It's not much of a campfire, it's just my little propane fire pit on the lowest setting. I don't think you can actually have any wood fires out here right now, even though it's winter, because it's been so dry. And then we'll make some dinner. So just gonna kick it, and then tomorrow I'm gonna show you guys around the camper. A little too dark now, but since I didn't get to do that on my last trip, I want to show you guys around the camper, and then I don't know, we'll see what we get into tomorrow. Tonight, cooking up one of my favorites, Bertolli, which is just pre-packaged pasta. Dump it in a pan, heat it up, and you're good to go. Well, good morning to you guys. Got some breakfast going, got some coffee going. Have you guys had This Just Black Rifle coffee. I am not a fancy coffee drinker, but I do really like my coffee, and it's the best I've ever had. This is not like a sponsored anything. Somebody got me this for Christmas this year, and ever since, like, it's all I can drink. But it's fantastic. I didn't sleep good last night. It was a little bit of a rough one. I kept hearing footprints. The funny thing is like, I'm in a campground of all places. The one other guy that was here left before I even got up this morning. But I kept hearing footprints. And so when I got out, I walked around camp, and there's some animal droppings. I don't know what it was. But I found some pretty big tracks in the road here. Maybe I'll show you guys in a minute. And then what actually woke me up this morning is I heard some coyotes just going nuts. And they were like right here. So maybe it was coyotes, but those tracks looked a little bit bigger than a coyote track to me. So I thought it might be something different. But anyways, like, the mental aspect of that kind of kept me up a little bit. Second trip in a row where I kind of had a hard time sleeping. Not due to the camper, because the camper's been the most comfortable setup I've ever had in my entire life. And in fact, I'd be like nodding off, and then I'd hear something. You know how it kind of plays tricks on you. When you're out solo like this, maybe you just hear more things. So I got up this morning, and I kind of just organized the camper a little bit, got things ready to go before I started coffee and breakfast. Just wanted to enjoy the morning, kind of slept in a little bit. And it's beautiful out here. Santa Ana winds are kind of catching back up with us again. And so, I don't know, late morning, it's kind of started rolling in. Been pretty windy. And I haven't really decided what I'm going to do yet today. I'm definitely going to have some breakfast here in a minute as it finishes cooking. And then I really do want to show you guys a little bit of the camper. And so we'll kind of go from there. All right, breakfast is just about there. We got 3 eggs, 3 bacon, and a yogurt berry parfait. Should be pretty good. The reason I'm using, for those who are wondering, the lid of my camp bin is because of the bed rug. I just don't want it to melt underneath the hot stove. I have a solution coming for this. I ordered an ultra swing, a rigged ultra swing for the back, so that way I can have, you know, my trash on the tire. If I want to go up a size of the tires, I can do that with the spare, and I'll be able to have like cooking propane on the back, and a camp table back there. So something a little bit more streamlined, since moving to the camper, I lost my really easy access to that camp table that I had up there that I was really enjoying. So setup wise, definitely kind of like in the in-between phase right now. Like, things aren't super organized in there. I haven't built things out yet. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit, but I did want to kind of touch base on that because I really did love that last setup that I had. Gave me a lot more working space. And for those wondering how I'm still liking the Jetboil system, some of you guys might not have been here at that time, but about a year ago I was testing out a bunch of different camp stoves, and what I settled on was the Jetboil Genesis system, because it is so powerful. The burner control is so precise, and I love that it's so compact, and it's everything. It's your pots, your pans, your stove. I mean, it's just such a good system. Boils water super quick. Like, I just threw on another kettle to make another cup of coffee, and it was just instantaneous. I love this thing. All right, let's eat. Okay, so I just finished cleaning up the breakfast mess, And I thought it would be a good time to kind of show you guys around and in the camper. So the camper I ordered is the Topo Toppers Rincon. It's their newest model, and for what's available right now on the market for mid-size trucks specifically, I think it's like the most camper you can get for a mid-size truck without compromising what a mid-size truck is, if that makes sense. So in a second, I'll walk you kind of around the outside and I'll kind of show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to like the exterior width and stuff. But this thing is fully aluminum. The build quality is amazing, and my experience ordering through them was fantastic. You know, picking it up, they installed it. I went out there, spent the day out at Topo Toppers, talking to Thomas, the owner, the founder, quite a bit. It's a couple that owns it and runs it, Thomas and Katie, and the team there was just so amazing, so willing to answer my questions. I sent in so many emails of questions and additions and things that I wanted to do, and just making sure that this was the right fit for, you know, my application with, you know, me taking my kids out on these trips. And so really happy with the experience overall, and really happy with the camper so far. This was my third trip so far in it. So just wrapping up my third trip in the camper, and I will say I think it's a life-changing purchase. It's really something that has reduced so much friction to getting out onto these trips. Preparation for a trip is been cut down significantly. Obviously, getting out here, setting up, comfort. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we kind of get inside and I kind of show you guys what I mean by all that. But let's check out the exterior real quick. So as you guys can kind of see, the bed's got this cab over design. So the bed extends all the way up to the front right here. And then you've got a little bit of gap. I did have to cut down my little shark fin antenna down there just to make sure that we had some extra space, just in case there was flex on the trail. And then this is an option you can add on, these exterior L-tracks, these windows. They have like these different packages that you can order. So I ordered like their first tier package and then some additional add-ons. So I'll kind of talk through that as we go. But yes, I did add on these L-tracks, these exterior L-tracks to both sides, these windows, and then these L-track awning brackets. I ordered 4 of those so I could do awnings on both sides. On this side, I'm going to keep this shower. This is a shower awning by Terra Firma, which I do owe you guys a video on. I actually had it set up on the previous setup. I just ran out of time to make the video before I needed to change things up. And so the Terra Firma awning is for privacy shelter, so the kids can have a restroom while we're out here on these trips. That I don't need to like handhold them into the woods if they need to go to the restroom at any given time. Whenever the kids are with me, that'll be set up. It also will be nice during the summer months to, you know, take a shower or something on longer trips. Back here, you've got your gas strut door, pops open, 2 handles, locks by just turning it, and then just, it's got a little bit of squeak. I think I'm gonna have to put some lube on it, but obviously you can see just an enormous amount of space. I mean, just even in comparison to what a camper shell offers, you know, the camper shell kind of went in like at an angle, and this goes not only out but up straight, and so you just get a massive amount of room in there. We'll go in there in a minute and I'll show you guys. And then on this side, similar setup, L-tracks, 42 by 12 windows, more awning brackets. Now right now I have my old ARB awning on there just so I could have something in case of an emergency. I ordered a Alucab shadow awning, and that's actually sitting in my living room right now. And it turns out that that is a really great awning, but it's also probably the heaviest one out there. And I'm debating whether or not, because I've added so much weight to this truck and I'm going to be even adding more, if it's really the right awning for me. And so I'm debating that. That's why we haven't added it on. It's also a little bit of a complicated process to mount it. Pretty much every other awning out there mounts like this. They've got these T-tracks on the back, not alu-cab, they're special. Now the diesel heater is something that I kind of just set up like this. I ordered one of those tire steps and the diesel heater sits on that. Topo Toppers actually made me a window insert for the diesel heater, and so let me just brighten things up for you guys real quick. So that pumps in nice hot air, and I've got it angled up so it goes up in towards the sleeping area. This is the interior and my bed. So there are these really nice Velcro windows. They've got these little Velcro pieces right here, so you can just roll them up, keep them open. I like to do that during the day. Lots and lots of ventilation. Pretty simple. Screens, window covers. They did include 4 vinyls in the package I got, 4 window vinyls. I actually haven't used them yet, but like if it was raining or something and you wanted to have your views, you could do that. Now this is the bed. It is a queen size bed, 64, I believe, by 80 inches. Maybe 62. I don't remember off the top of my head. It is a 4-inch thick mattress, dual density. So you've got like a 2-inch, like firmer on the bottom and then softer on the top. And it is the most comfortable thing I've ever slept on a camping trip. It's absolutely fantastic. This is how I close it. So I've got a comforter that I picked up. I've got my Hest comforter, so 2 comforters just because it's winter time right now. An electric blanket, which I didn't even use last night. May use occasionally, and fitted sheets. And then I've got 2 standard size pillows. And all of this, with a tiny bit of manipulation, does close with the camper. And so I just don't have to worry about it. And then against the wall, you guys can see back there, there's some Velcro straps. I'm not going to go all the way. Here, I'll zoom just a little bit so you guys can see it. Some Velcro straps. You undo those, and then essentially on each side, you undo them. Both of those guys. And then you can pull the camper down and close it. Just make sure the tent material is tucked in. And that's what goes into closing up the camper. It's fairly simple. And then downstairs, you can kind of see this is where I think this camper kind of really shines, especially somebody like me who wants a camper like this, but you got kids. They did let me order some extra bed panels. So right here, these are some custom sized bed panels. I ordered 2 of those, and if my kids are coming with me, they'll both be in here. And so they're 20 by 62 inches, the panels are, and so my kids can sleep this way. And so right now, when it's just me, it's a great place to organize stuff, especially right now, because I have not organized this thing at all. I basically started camping about 3.5 weeks ago in this thing, threw what I thought I needed, and I haven't taken anything out yet. So this will get a lot more organized, a lot more clean as I use it more. But I've been using one of the bed panels as kind of like as a shelf to organize stuff. And I've really, really enjoyed it. Now the bed panels, these are what give me the 80 inches up top. Those are also movable, adjustable. They can slide back and forth, and so you can kind of manipulate this living space. Let me put you down for a second. Okay. So I could take these bed panels and I can put them along with the mattress, because the mattress is actually in 3 pieces. And I could put that back on my bed, and then I would open up this entire area if I was, I don't know, hanging out in here to escape weather or something like that. Or maybe the kids are in here watching a movie. So when the kids are in here, I will have 2 of these bed panels in here, and I'm probably gonna have to put them on some risers just so they can clear whatever fridge I've got in here at the time. Okay, for the time being, I am running this fairly large fridge. This is the Bouge RV Rocky 50 liter. There's some things I really like about it. It is a fridge that I'm testing out currently, and I will be doing a video on it eventually. This will be a great fridge for when it's the whole family. It's got plenty of room in there, dual zone. There's this removable battery, which has been really awesome because essentially I've been able to run this fridge while in these colder months just off these batteries while I'm at camp, and then while I'm driving I charge it off of the truck inverter. And so that's been a pretty cool setup just because I'm in between phases right now. I've got a fairly small power station that I'm using on these trips, and that's running my diesel heater, and it's running the camper. Like there is, I forgot to tell you guys about the fan. We'll go back in there and check that out in a minute. So I'm running quite a bit off that little power station, and right now my dual battery system is not in the truck because I had to remove it for the install, and I've decided to make some really big upgrades, like a 200 amp hour lithium smart battery that will be built underneath this first bed panel in the back. So right now I'm using this fridge. Most of the time there's probably going to be that smaller Iceco fridge that you guys have seen in the past on the channel, and it just allows for more room in the camper. This is a small area to work with. It's the biggest area that I feel like you can get in a Tacoma, but nevertheless a 5-foot Tacoma bed is still a 5-foot Tacoma bed, and so having a smaller fridge in here will definitely make a difference. I'll definitely notice that extra space. But once again, to be able to fit the bed panels and the fridge, I will have to add some kind of like riser on the sides here to elevate the bed panels so they clear the fridge. Let's flip this on real quick. So this is another thing that I forgot to tell you guys about. One of the options I ordered was this upper lighting. In fact, the only regret I have in my purchase is that I didn't also order the lower lighting to match, because the lighting I just find to be so pleasant and well put together that I may see if I can add that later on. The fan is the Max Air Deluxe fan, and so that is wired up to the camper as well. I'll show you the plug for that in a second, but you can basically, it's got a rain cover on there so you can run it in the rain. I did on the last trip, and it can suck air out, it can push air in. It's got different speed levels, and so it helps keep condensation out. And then along with that as well, you can kind of see these upper panels right here. These are an insulation addition that I also added. So if you ordered it bare bones, it would just be aluminum. I highly recommend, if you do decide to purchase one of these campers, to do at least this upper insulation, because especially in these colder months, my goodness, does that aluminum get super cold. And so having this insulation has definitely helped a lot. In addition to that, I also added in, you can kind of see it right here, this is the preparation, the pre-installation for their Velcro in thermal liner. When I was talking to Thomas, he could say you can pretty much Velcro in anything into there if you want. I've had it out in 2 cold weather trips so far. Last night was in the 20s, which actually did pretty good. I feel like the diesel heater, I ran it on full blast. I had to, but I think the thermal liner would help a lot, or some kind of insulation around the tent portion. I think that would help a lot. The first cold weather trip I did 2 weekends ago, actually they've all been pretty cold. It's winter. And I felt it. You know, the first night out in this, I didn't run the diesel heater, and I regretted that. But the last 2 trips, I've ran the diesel heater. And the diesel heater I have is super quiet. It works great. It's just not super powerful. And I don't know if that's because of the diesel heater itself, or if it's because too much air is escaping. Too much warm air is escaping because this camper's not insulated well enough. So I'll definitely want to be, for next winter, because this winter's coming to an end, I'll definitely want to address some of those things. something that I ordered for these windows because at night you have like zero privacy. It's just these magnetic window covers. These things are awesome. Go right on, go right off. They're a custom deal that I ordered from Overland Gear Guy. He's still working on making 2 more for me. And so if that's something that if any of you guys have these campers or are interested in those, I will link his information in the video description. He's still working on, he actually ordered, I reached out to him to see if he could make some for me. And he actually ordered one of these windows to do a little bit of a prototype, and that's what this is right here. But I really, really like it. The magnetic, there's just these metal plates that you either glue on, or I actually use double-sided tape. You just put them in the correct place, and then it just sticks on. Real quick while I'm down here, this plug is what runs the camper. And so you'll get one of these 12-volt cigarette lighter plugs that you can plug into a power station. I'm going to have to wire this up to my dual battery system when I'm finished with that. But that runs the fan and the lights. And then you guys can see another view of this diesel heater insert. This window just pops out, the screen just pops out. You put the insert in place, and then you've got hot air coming into your camper. I'd say the last and final thing that I've added to this so far is this molly panel. This cab end molly panel that you guys can see back there. I'm going to be organizing all sorts of gear on that, but for right now, while we're in transit, I just strap the power station and my Dometic water jug to it. And then I've got this, whoop, it's pretty bright out here. I've got this Go faucet that just kind of comes out here. I can attach it to that plate when I want it on the tailgate, and then when we're in transit, I just mounted a little plate to it right there. My goodness, I apologize for all the shaky camera footage in there. It's just a small space, and so you need like a wide angle camera, and this one is wide angle, but probably just not wide angle enough. It's really hard to show you guys around there, but overall, really like it. Really like it. I guess I'll share all in with all the additions that I paid, including taxes and everything. It cost me $14,500, which is fantastic in comparison to a lot of the other models out there. Before I bought this, I actually had a deposit on a tune, and that would have been better for fitting the whole family. It's wider, it's bigger, it's more expensive, and if I wanted to do additions like add-ons like I did on this one, it would have been in the 20s for sure. More expensive, and something about it didn't sit right with me because of how big it was. I knew I was going to want to be adding on awnings and stuff like that, and so at a certain point you're just like, is this even like a mid-sized truck anymore, you know? And so like I said in the beginning, I feel like this is the most amount of camper that you can get on a mid-sized truck without compromising what makes a mid-sized truck a mid-sized truck. It is heavy. I'm probably, I don't know, at least 550 pounds. And so there's things that I want to do. I want to get some heavier duty leaf springs in the back. I'm going to have to do that. Brakes, I'm going to have to re-gear, but I want to do all those things anyways. So yeah, for the time being, I'm just going to have to be a little bit more choosy on the kind of terrain that I tackle. I don't want to probably do any super steep grades and risk my brakes going out, but overall, I think the compromise is worth it. Definitely going to be a game changer for the family. Well, I'm all packed up and I'm on my way out of here. It's still pretty early in the day, and so I just got a new telephoto lens. And though it may not be the right time of day for it, I'm gonna see if I can find some wildlife to photograph, film. If I come across anything, you guys will see it on here. If I don't, then you won't. But you know, this video is so different than some of the ones that I've been putting out recently. And at first I was kind of bummed, you know, the drone went down, ended up camping at a campground. It just wasn't super adventurous, but especially this morning, I found myself really enjoying it. And you know, they're not all gonna be epic. They're not all gonna be these amazing stories, and that's okay. You know, I bought the camper to get out here more often, and you know, it's amazing. It's just been like back to back to back trips already, and I feel like I'm just getting started. And so they're not always going to be epic, I guess is what I'm saying, but sometimes these super chill, just being out here to go camping trips are phenomenal. If it doesn't turn out to be that great of a video because of it, I'm sorry. We'll get a great adventure in next time. As always, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Every once in a while, you just need to escape and just go have a good old-fashioned adventure with the boys.
Well, Sean cast his drone.
Oh, it worked! So today, I'm meeting up with Johnny Taco, and we are going to head out to my absolute favorite spot in Big Bear for a cold night of camping in the shadow of some snow-covered mountains before winter breathes its last breath.